What's going on, everybody? John Stamper. We are here live in San Antonio. It is Dr. Scott Luna's Breakaway seminars. This weekend is Business Masters, and we wanted to take some time on day 2 with some of the attendees, the doctors, get their insights. What has the training been like? You know, every participant here has a lot of the same things they want to accomplish, but a little bit of a different story. So I'm very excited about my next guest. We've got Dr. Bruno Arnaud with us, who is a practicing dentist in Brazil for 15 years.
Yes.
And he also does clinical affairs at the Straumann Group, so doing a lot of things on the education side.
Yes.
And I really thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. All right, so we were talking, you're here as a participant. And
Yes.
one of the main reasons is your wife is going to be opening a practice,
Yes.
Sarasota, Florida.
Yep.
And so you wanted to get some insight on that process.
Definitely,
and how's it been?
It's been amazing. It's so much information, right? I think that this course gives us the opportunity to hear, about so many aspects of dentistry. We are both from Brazil. We had practices in Brazil, but it's there's such a big difference, like practicing over there and over here, and the insurance, and how to put your practice together. And starting out in the best possible way is the best thing that we can do, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to come and to be able to understand in all different aspects, how is it that we can create a practice that would be a lot better from the start, so that we don't start with bad habits and then try to correct them. So start well with good habits and, performing well and being profitable the right way. So, and it has been incredible.
Yeah, I love that. It's interesting because, we have doctors here that have been practicing for 5, 10, 15 years, and they're looking just for some things to get to the next level.
Yeah.
It is a unique situation. Like you said, I mean, you guys are starting from scratch here after practicing in Brazil. So also, you're an educator. You do a lot with the Straumann Group.
Yep.
We'd love to get your insights on Dr. Luna and
Sure.
just his approach and how he's,
Yeah.
your thoughts on that.
Great that you asked that because, so I'm head of clinical affairs for the DSO team of the Straumann Group, and we have a team, and we do a lot of continuums ourselves. Like we have our own education continuums on implant dentistry. We also have a lot of KOLs, and so in our job we have to judge a lot of KOLs. We have to try to prep the KOLs, and for them to educate and be on the podium. And Dr. Luna has such a very natural way of being engaging. It's actually very easy to hear, to listen, and he has his own stories also to tell. So I think it makes everything very easy for everybody who's here, because it's 2 days, it's a lot of content, so it's a packed agenda, and you need to have somebody who's engaging enough to get you, to pay attention for the whole time and to make it fun and engaging, right? So I think that he has all of that. Also, the course is very, very organized. Everything is very organized. It also works as a hub where we have a lot of the partners, the other companies that are here, that will allow us to build the practice in the right way in each different, from the architecture to the tax part, to the scheduling, to all of the different areas of the practice. Everybody's here to help us. And so I think that the way that this course has been put together is very, very organized, and makes it optimal for what we're trying to achieve here.
So speaking of the manual and all the information that's in there,
Yep.
almost kind of learning, from a fire hose,
Yep.
are there a couple of things, some takeaways that, at least with where you are in your journey with your wife, that you're going to focus on first?
Oh yeah, and I think that's the manual, and this is our second course with him. By the way, we did the advanced startup. He has a roadmap, right? We do have the first step, that's what you do, then that's what you do. So I actually think it's very well laid out, and so we are actually following that already, starting out our search for the best locations and all. But in each one of the things, each one of the aspects, like the chapters of the book, you find stuff that you're like, whoa, that's it's like a light goes up, and you're like, I didn't think about this, right? And I think he has been helping hundreds of practices for a long time, and he has been testing different approaches, and so I think that all of that experience really help us understand what works and what doesn't work in this market, and so so in each one of them, we are learning something, and we are excited to implement that, right?
Yeah. What is different here in the States? I'm curious, having you talk about your experience in Brazil. What are some of those things?
It's very different. Like, two starters, we don't have hygienists in Brazil. our dental assistants in Brazil cannot do what the dental assistants here in US can in terms of treating the patient. In Brazil, they cannot put their hands in the patient's mouth, or like I used to take my own X-rays,
Right.
and if you can think about that, like doing implant surgery, and you have to, yeah. So here everything is different. The insurance world is completely different. The laws are completely different. So it's a lot of little things that you have to understand.
Yeah.
How you can operate. A lot of the things are more efficient over here than over there.
Right.
So you can see a lot more patients than you can over there. And so you have to understand how to be able to build that flow, that workflow, that we couldn't once we were there. So it's very different to understand the perspective here and to see how much more productive you can be, and be within the laws and compliant with everything. So I think it's very important to have something like this, like reminding you on each different aspect what you could be doing and what would be the optimal approach.
Yeah. So speaking of that, when you and your wife open that practice, what are some of the things you're most excited about? I mean, you've come with the experience from Brazil, just kind of like a clean slate here in the States, but now you've got this roadmap. So as you kind of sit back, maybe it'll take a couple of days for it all to sink in. But what are you guys most excited about?
Well, everything. Well, my wife got her license here a couple of years ago, and we've been really wanting to have our own place. She's been really excited about opening her own space, and doing it her own way, and growing at her own pace, and all of that. I think that you have great opportunities when you work for different companies and for different practices, but I think a lot of dentists, they have this, like, I wanted to do it my way, I wanted to, right? So there's a lot of that, of course. In Brazil, oversaturated market, we had our own ways of creating our own, spot, standing out, and we want to make sure to also do that, like to put our own touch in our practices. And with the experience that we have in terms of also implementing new procedures, especially in implant dentistry and all, we want to make sure that we will implement those over to be able to get the most out of it. So I don't know, it's just like a lot of stuff that gets us excited about the opportunity. And I think that basically having your own company and your own opportunity to grow at your own pace, and I think that's amazing, and it gives you the freedom that you want to, so.
It's interesting. You mentioned about the freedom, and then, of course, this roadmap now that Dr. Luna has provided. And then, of course, you talked about the companies that are here. It was really important to Scott when we started to have the companies actually in the room, that the companies were there that are here, like you mentioned, they're integrated into how he teaches, right? So there's nobody here that he's not excited about or doesn't believe kind of fits into that, into that roadmap. So how has that been, speaking to all the different companies, learning about what they do, and like you said, like getting a clean slate with all these resources?
Yeah, no, it's amazing because, again, look, we come from another country, and I've been working for Straumann, so I know a lot of other partners, but a lot of other people will not have that opportunity, right? So how do you know who to call for this or that? Like, you don't know, right? And he has been trying different companies, trying different methodologies, and now that he knows what is really working, and he has all the metrics to follow all of that, and he knows what's working and what's not, now he brings the list of the companies that can help you in each step of the way. So it makes everything so much easier for us. I mean, I don't have to go looking for something else. I already have the list of partners that will get me to where I want to be, right? So just on that alone, it's amazing. It's already worth it just to meet all of those partners. Without, it would be having to be reading reviews online and searching and believing whatever they say, and we don't even know if that would meet or match our style or So I think that this all makes a lot of sense. Like all of this organization and having all of the partners here together, and you have all the breaks to give us the opportunity to meet them and to understand. I think it was put together in an amazing way. I think it's awesome.
What would you say to any doctors out there that are on the fence, like they want to, depending on where they are in their career, they want to take things to the next level? What would you say if they were thinking about coming to Breakaway? Like, what would you share with them?
Don't think, just come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second one that we're doing. This is awesome. after this one, I'm having him coaching us all the way.
Yeah.
So we're doing the whole thing, and I think that if you want to get to this level, you can see some of his stories and some of his results. If you want to get to that level, you got to do this, and you got to do this. I think the earlier the better, right? The more you stay there and don't know if that's what you want is another year or month or whatever that you're wasting. Just come and learn and start implementing those things, and I think you're going to have phenomenal result in your office.
I forgot to ask you, is your wife here with you?
She is. She's
okay.
here
Yeah.
with me.
Okay. Yeah. Because
she's inside. She's well,
I
in the
think
class.
actually she was just looking at me like, I think it's time to start. So I don't want to take any much more of your time. But we really appreciate it. You know, I know Dr. Luna appreciates it, and the whole, Breakaway team, Yaz and Angelina, like all the things that you mentioned about organization and all of that. They work really hard for that, so that means a lot. And I don't want to keep you. There's a little bit more to learn this afternoon, but thank you so much. Thanks for being here, and best of luck with your new practice. Very exciting.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity too, and best of luck to you guys and to the seminar. I think it's awesome seminar, guys.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.